In this video, we have a new project with an iconic first-gen Suzuki SV650. This bike was left for dead in a backyard, but you know we like a challenge and making poor financial decisions, so watch as we uncover all of its issues and work to transform this bike from boat anchor to certified ripper. Okay, well, we couldn't say no to these things. We have an 81 CB900F. And then we got this thing right here. Seth is gonna fall in love with this. He's never ridden an SV650. So this one is a 2001, so it's a first gen.
It's the same year as me.
Carburetor, you're born 2001?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so old.
What month is this thing?
But yeah, this was bought as a parts bike. We don't know the history. This didn't really have a story, but it's gonna take some spit shine, a couple new parts. But both of these bikes had titles. We'll have this one going pretty quick, I think. Okay, we're working on the SV650 here, trying to figure out why it doesn't have spark. So what have you discovered so far?
Well, just going through the process of elimination, I've checked the ignition coils, primary and secondary resistances. They're in spec, so those are fine. I went ahead and checked the stator, all the different sections of the generator. They're all perfectly fine.
And you're checking each of the yellow wires to ground, making sure they're not grounded out, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then checking the resistances between each yellow wire to itself or
Yep.
to another pair.
Yep.
Okay.
And from there, this is a electronic ignition system, so it needs a pickup or a signal on the crank, and that signal is fed up to here, and there's a testing procedure for testing that. And whenever I was going through it, the resistance reading was okay on one section, but upon testing one of the wires to ground, it's supposed to have an open loop where there's no connection, but I was getting a reading on it.
Okay. So who knows what that could be? Maybe, I don't know, broken wire within, or it's rubbed through to, you know, something behind there. I don't know. There is a reason that this cover is missing, a reason we don't know. Who knows who was messing with it? So what are you gonna do next then?
Well, I'm gonna double check it. Just going to check it up against ground.
Yeah, so 5.86 ohms. And it should be open lines. There shouldn't be any continuity to ground, as you said.
Right.
So that gives you something to go off of, and we can turn our attention down here. I'm really hoping it's not the actual igniter back there.
That's expensive.
Damn, that was quick.
Practice.
That's kind of milky. I bet it just has water in it from these being exposed and maybe getting some rain down the intakes. Is it Hershey's or Nesquik?
It's more of a Nesquik vibe, actually.
Okay, so it's got a little like a silt, you know, some
Very artificial.
like a grainy type thing, vibe.
Protein content's a little off.
That's nasty looking. It would appear somebody might have been in here finding silicone on the bolts.
It's not a very good sign.
There was no gasket on this surface, so they actually did not use, in my opinion, an excessive amount of silicone, so good job on that. but it did need a gasket. Okay, we just pulled the stator out. I noticed the wiring was routed really strange. It was like right on the header. It should have been kind of like on top of this section. And then if you look over on the wiring itself, it has definitely been melted through. So I think we're about to see our issue here. Okay, there's definitely exposed copper. Yep. I think we're real hot.
Well, that was real hot.
So it's our bike. We're just gonna solder this.
We do what we want.
Oh yes.
Perfect. And what you want to do is do approximately, actually that feels, right about there. Nailed it.
Deleted the problem. That's disgusting. Oh yeah, bare copper on that side too. That's on the, presumably,
Well, it used to be.
it used to be yellow, I think. I don't know.
Neat.
Yummy! Okay, well, we can't find a gasket locally, so Seth is a gasket making son of a gun. He is gonna whip one up for us, right?
Pretty handy with an X-Acto knife.
Okay, we have a new oil filter on this thing. This area is cleaned up, and Seth has finished pinning and terminating the ends of the new sections of harness. So we're gonna throw a little sealant on here and install this. Have we shown the people your gasket?
I don't think so.
It's a beaut.
Tried real hard.
I mean, shoot, it's gonna seal, it's gonna work.
It should.
When we needed it now, that's what we have. Okay, cover is on. This is routed up here. We're not gonna route it on the header. So now it's time to add some oil to this, and it's very specific which one we use. So we could either go Lucas, Valvoline, we're gonna go with all of them. These are all just like almost empty. We're just gonna clear out the shelf and just dump it all in. So it's gonna be a Valvo Lucas 5W50 or something. And it's gonna work just fine for testing purposes only.
Testing purposes only.
That looked like a fresh.
That was brand new.
That's like the good Lucas 2050.
It was only $5 apparently.
But yeah, like this is actually a new one too, because these are like, it's got barely any in them. So it's getting the good stuff before it gets the not as good stuff.
It'll be fine. We got the racing 4T flavor now. And I'll hit it with a little bit of
This is, I think, fully synthetic too.
NASCAR.
Plus 5 horsepower. That was an aggressive pour. That thing was like right there on the phone.
It was calculated. What's this thing's capacity again?
Until it goes past the full mark and we can't see it anymore. That plus 1 quart.
Okay. 2050.
The icing is Syntec, European formula. Oh, it's like at the right spot in the window now. It just took a minute. Get her all the way up there.
Sure.
It'll end up filling the filter and circulating and it'll go down. She gonna run.
Hope so.
Okay, let's do the check. We're gonna see if this thing has spark.
Loud noises.
Come on, sparks.
Several days later.
Okay, it's been at least a couple weeks since we have touched this SV. Basically what we figured out is the igniter is what has to be wrong here. So there is a little crack in the back of this thing. We don't know if that's actually what caused the damage. But regardless, we did get a presumably good unit from my friend Mike. So we're gonna go ahead and plug this in. We'll hook up the battery and what are we gonna do?
Loud noises?
Loud noises. Yoshimura noises. So hopefully this works. That would be really awesome. Okay. Taillight works. Please have spark.
Oh,
Oh wait.
hang on.
Oh buddy.
Hey,
She got spark.
it's gonna be a ripper.
Now, because it's 14,000 degrees outside, before we go out there, let's make sure it at least wants to pop off on starting fluid. Yes, it does.
Sure does.
Well, not that you can like see the temperature, but just trust me, it's freaking hot. So we got the canopy out here, living the life of luxury. And now the canopy, we're not putting shade on the front of the bike.
It's not like we had this here for shade or anything.
Yeah, we'll stand over here.
There you go.
It burns. All right, let's fire this thing up. We got fuel to the carbs. We had that before, but that's before we knew that it didn't have ignition.
Little go juice. Ooh, spicy.
The exhaust.
What?
It is like running water out of the exhaust.
Ugh.
I wonder if it's just like filled with water.
Whoa.
Or wait, it would have shot it out by now.
Surely.
Oh, that's fuel.
Oh. Needle's just wide open.
Oh yeah, it's leaking out of the crankcase.
wow.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that ain't good. The needle's stuck in this one, so it's just filling that cylinder full of fuel and running out of the header clamp. Woo!
That's how it's supposed to be, right?
Yep. The other cylinder's trying to come on. It's just rolling fuel out. Aww. Yep, it's got heat now. Big exhaust leak. Smoke is much less dramatic on the phone.
Nice.
Okay, never mind the sound of the ultrasonic over there, but we have the carbs off. And looking down the intake here, the valves are looking really good, actually. I had done one in the past and they were like rusty and had less compression. So Seth is working on swapping out master cylinders. So we got a bunch of master cylinders. We're just gonna swap it out. Carbs over here. They're looking pretty grungy. So looking at them underneath, there's evidence of somebody hitting those screws before. So somebody's been in here. But they have not uncovered the mixer screw Welsh plugs. So the EPA plugs will remove those. I'm gonna see if I can get away with just not separating them. Probably don't need to, so I'm just gonna start tearing them down. All right, Seth is cleaning up the wheel and the rotor. This thing is just saturated with all kinds of fork oil. So we just want to make this thing go through the parking lot, and that's about it. I have the carbs torn mostly down. I'm still going to drill this Welsh plug out. Overall, they're really not that bad. I mean, yes, there is some junk in there, but that should clean up with relative ease. So I think we're pretty good. The pilots do seem like they are blocked. That's about it though. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get this brass cover off, and then this will expose the actual mixture screw. The idea behind this is they set it from the factory, and this prevents tampering, which, is not working right now. And then from here, I've got a little 4mm tap. Just running that in. Back out. And then now I'm gonna go ahead and get a screw and we can extract those.
A few moments later.
After baking for 20 minutes, it made a funny noise. The dirt that's on there is loose, but looking much better still. They just need a rinsing now. So the tank in this thing had some junk in it for sure. The level sensor is now smaller, so it doesn't work because it was basically deteriorated. Where's the rest of it? So yeah, it had already come apart from its like little perch there, and then like the wiring wasn't even connected anymore. So this will need to be replaced for the level sensor to actually work. But yeah, for now, this is just going to be a plug and everything will be great. Now, as these things go back together, I am going to up the main jets. So I have an aftermarket 142.5 jet here, and stock form we have 137.5s. So because this thing has the Yoshimura slip-on and a stock filter, we just need to go probably 2 sizes on the mains. I don't think I'm going to mess with the pilots because I just probably don't have any. But I don't have 2 aftermarket Mikuni style small rounds, so we're going old school. We're drilling jets. So this bit that I have is like the same as the 142.5, so I'm just drilling the stock ones. You know, love it or hate it, whatever, that's what we're doing. And then I am planning on, I'm gonna shim the needle, so we'll just give it a little bit more fuel through the mid-range. Pilots, I'm generally not as concerned about. I think you can usually work your way around that with the mixture, so we might have to back them out another half turn or something, but you know, it'll be fine. Okay, here you can see I've added another shim above the spacer and below the clip. So these are a non-adjustable needle. But what this does is it raises the needle, therefore giving it more fuel. So we're gonna go and do that for both. I already have the jets in the carbs. They're ready to really just kind of throw back together now. Finito. Installed. Okay, we're getting ready to go on our maiden voyage on this thing, and because we're professionals, we did a few more things. Let me take you through the list. So, front and rear tires were leaking. Seth, how did we fix the rear?
Well, as you fix any wheel appropriately,
Big old dent in it.
you take a giant 5-pound sledgehammer and give it a few whacks. Then it's perfect again.
We suggested that it get back in shape, so we took the 4x4 post and just like whacked it into there, and then now we have a sealed tire at least. On the front, the valve stem was leaking, so what does anybody do? You super glue the heck out of it.
It's actually a super high-tech polymer-based agent that's made for sealing valve stems.
That's exactly what it is. As far as fuel delivery is concerned, we have our nurse tank. I mean, this is the actual tank. We're never going to change that.
No.
And that is, of course, bungee corded across the bike, custom. And then our battery, we have a set of nets that are stretched out over it. And so, yeah, this, other than a seat, is a fully functional motorcycle.
I have ridden worse.
Yeah. So let's wheel her outside and give it a go. Well, we forgot we got to put a seat on this thing.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
Perfect.
Seat.
Wood ride.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
You see what I did there?
I see what you did.
All right, guys, I'm editing this video, and it looks like I do not have a clip where we wheeled it outside and started it back up. Now, it was similar to those original clips where we first got it going, and what we encountered was actually the fuel continually running out of the rear cylinder, so there was no change with the carb rebuild, and it wasn't a stuck float like we thought. So it turns out that it was actually dumping fuel out of the fuel pump, which we'll show here in a second. So bit of a misdiagnosis. This is definitely a new one for us. So we can only really imagine how much fuel it was dumping into this cylinder. My fear is a lot of fuel wash on the cylinder walls and stuff, so definitely not a good situation.
So one major issue we ran into with this thing is it was just flooding the rear cylinder out entirely. And we got to looking, and this is the fuel pump. And when we pulled the line off of the intake where the vacuum port hooks, there was fuel running out of it, and that shouldn't be possible because all this side does is pull vacuum for the pump. Took it apart, and sure enough, this diaphragm is just completely ruined. So it was letting fuel bypass the diaphragm, so it was getting fuel just dumped directly into the rear cylinder, causing the major flooding issue that we were experiencing. But for the time being, we're going to not worry about that and just run a line straight to the nurse tank.
Line ran.
Perfect.
Okay, so the rear cylinder is just, it's been so flooded for so long, it needs load right now. So it's popping and farting, so here he goes. So that was kind of a weird one to figure out, that it was just dumping it into the vacuum port. But yeah, that cylinder has just been filled with fuel for like ever now. And so I have to imagine it's probably like washed the rings there. So it's gonna help to get it under load, help maybe reseal it a little bit. So we'll see how it goes. It might, I don't know, that might have been why it was parked and why the petcock was replaced. Okay, made some progress. Looks like we were battling a bad spark plug too. It was just barely firing on that rear cylinder. It's just been going through hell. So now it sounds like it's running pretty good. Sound a bit rattly. We don't need to demonstrate if we don't have to.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're figuring it out slowly. Much better though, right? After a bit more ride time, we agreed that the lower end noise seemed similar to my V-Strom 650 when under load at low RPM. We knew it was risky, but decided to press forward with the bike and make it roadworthy. For this, it needed things like a new rear wheel and rotor, new front tire, foot pegs, fork seals, caliper rebuilds, and new brake pads. Just pulled the caliper off. That's pretty good. Seth has been cleaning the snot out of this thing. Probably quite literally, actually.
I was gonna say, literally.
So back end's looking good. Plastics are gonna start getting wiped down. Right now, just getting all this just junk off of it. So went ahead and swapped the left side peg to the matching S variant. So it actually moves the peg back and up about an inch in comparison to the N. S for like, you know, fairing or sport, and then N for like naked. So anyway, there is a difference. And then over here, we got some blingage because a 97, 98 GSXR is the same exact part number. So this is the best deal we could find online. And so we got some chrome, you know, it's cool.
That's horsepower.
Adds horsepower, you know. So yeah, this thing's making progress. This actually is the same bike. Seth has been scrubbing.
Scrub-a-dubbin'.
Got a lake going on down here from all of the cleaners and stuff, but the bottom of the engine is looking really good along with the frame and everything else. I just did a little 50-50 of some mothers back to black on here. Looking really good. I don't know if the bike actually deserves it, but you know, it's getting it.
Now before I let this next clip roll, I want you guys to pay attention to how this bike sounds. Unlike the last time we rode it, this thing has developed a lower end tick, which was really alarming. We tried to minimize the time that we ran the bike, so we came back the next day to do a further assessment, and that's where the video picks up. 2 has entered the chat. It's like right now it's quiet. And about 2 minutes later, got a little bit of heat in it. Okay, new development. So it sounds like rod knock at first, putting a screwdriver here, 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 moving it all around. The sound is pretty consistent on this side with the cam chain. Cam chain tensioner is right here, and it sounds very loud right there. Putting the screwdriver on the block, it doesn't sound like it's actually from connecting rod. So we're gonna go ahead and try to mess with that cam chain adjuster. A little hard to get to, but not terrible. Aluminum. What? Ouch.
I see.
Yes, it is a cam chain tensioner.
It is that.
Yes. So the tensioner itself does work. I'm seeing a little wear mark about right there, suggesting it might have been about halfway in. So doesn't appear to be maxed out, but I don't know. So we're gonna slap that thing back in and let it readjust, I guess. Okay, needing to reinstall this. What you should have is the super special Suzuki cam chain tensioner setting tool. It's like a wire and a special release pin and stuff. Or you can cut up a fuse and shove her in there. Same thing. Much less expensive. Yay. All right, let's see if this did anything. It's got to kind of get warmed up again. I don't know. I really hope that did something. I can't exactly understand how the cam chain would have that sort of tap to it, but we can always be hopeful. I don't know how, but it sounds like it's all right. So Seth adjusted the cam chain tensioner, could have had some slack in it. It's idling great. We did find one little vacuum leak. That's another story. That was a simple port that maybe popped off of the backfire. But I don't know, it's running good. I mean, listen to it. It's nice. The tack is not working still. I don't know why. There's a little noise, but it doesn't sound anything like it was. It does not sound like a rod knock, anything like that. It could just need the rear tensioner adjusted now. That seemed to really make a difference. We were dead set this thing had a junk bottom end. I think we just, I don't know, by some miracle, good call on that. So, now what do we do? So what you guys know about this? Oh yeah. Well, I think Seth is a fan. How's your first experience on an SV650 go?
Delightful.
Delightful. Well, maybe not the first experience. The first experience had like rod knock, it sounded like, and we thought we were doomed, but no. Seriously, we just lucked out big time on that thing. We're gonna put a little bit more energy into this bike. What do you think we should do?
Turbo.
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 I don't think we're gonna turbo it, guys. I'm sorry.
Dang it.
Seth has good ideas, but we only have so much time. So anyway, yeah, I know an SV650 is a very popular bike, and if you go way back to the beginning of my channel, this was actually the first project I had, was a Suzuki SV650N that I did a revival on. So we're like full circle right now, and it's pretty awesome. So I personally really love these bikes. I think everybody does. They're just a lot of fun. So shout out to this guy for suggesting that we mess with the cam chain tensioner on that. I think you nailed it. And we just need to adjust the rear one now, and then also sync the carbs.
It just needs a little bit of fine tuning, but like as it is quite functional.
Yeah. Yeah, it just, in the span of just, I don't know, 5 hours, it went from a boat anchor to, what's the opposite of a boat anchor? A hot air balloon?
Hot air balloon.
Hot air balloons are slow.
I don't know, Zuckerberg's yacht.
Zuckerberg's yacht, okay. I don't know, it went from a boat anchor to being pretty awesome in the span of like 5 hours, so we are freaking psyched. So for now, the next job on this is definitely gonna be putting a gasket on the side cover here. It is leaking. We'll go ahead and probably put a thermostat in it, do a coolant flush, figure out why the damn tack's not working, and I don't know, other than like carbs and stuff, we'll just keep tinkering. And we'll be sure to put like, you know, a couple hundred nice test miles on it. And then it'll be for sale, I'm sure. So anyway, hope you guys like this one, and hope to see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. All right guys, now before you go, I wanted to end this video off on more of a personal note. I just wanted to say thank you to all of you who watch these videos, and all of you who come here and hang out during bike night, all of these customers I've amassed over the years. The last week has just been especially humbling. There's been a lot of cool things that have happened, whether it be, you know, very touching, kind phone calls from my new friend Jerry down in Georgia, or even an author, Harrison Jenkins, coming by and bringing a book that he mentions brick house builds in. And I would never have thought that would be possible. It's just incredible. It's actually been 5 years to the day since I actually got to monetize the channel and break 1,000 subscribers. And since then, it's just been a real journey, and I just appreciate you guys coming along for the ride. And I'm just overwhelmed with gratitude. So I just want to say thank you to you guys for watching, and yeah,
I hope to continue this journey and we keep it going.